Om Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Lessons for Life from Swami Jagadatmananji's inspiring book Learn to Live, Volume 2, Chapter 5, Transformation Through Prayer. In this episode, Humble Supplication, we find a beautiful conversation on prayer between Sri Ramakrishna and Balaram Basu, a wealthy landlord. Humble supplication. Balaram Bose or Balaram Basu belonged to a rich family of Bagh Bazar in Kolkata. Charity was in the blood of this pious family. Since his childhood, Balaram had a religious spirit, had a spiritual temperament. He spent his time in reading scriptures, prayers and meditation. He had read about Sri Ramakrishna in the paper of Keshav Chandra Sen and had come to Dakshineshwar to meet him. As there was a crowd in the room, Balaram did not get a chance to introduce himself, but sat down in a corner and listened to the master. Sri Ramakrishna was saying, God cannot be seen without yearning of heart, and this yearning is impossible unless one has finished with the experiences of life. Those who live surrounded by woman and gold and have not yet come to the end of their experiences do not yearn for God. As soon as the Brahmos left the room to have some refreshments, Sri Ramakrishna turned to Balaram and said, "Is there anything you want to ask me?" "Yes, sir. Does God really exist?" Sri Ramakrishna replied, "Certainly, God does exist." "Can a person see him?" Balaram Basu again asked Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna replied, "Yes, God reveals himself to the devotee who thinks of him as his nearest and dearest. Because you do not get any response by praying to him once, you must not conclude that he does not exist." Balaram Basu said, "But why can't I see him when I pray to him so much?" Sri Ramakrishna then smiled and asked, "Do you really consider God to be as dear to your heart as your own children?" "No, sir," Balaram admitted. "I never felt that strongly for him." Sri Ramakrishna, the great master, then said in a sweet, convincing tone, "Pray to God, thinking of him as dearer than your own self. Truly, I tell you, he is extremely fond of his devotees. God is extremely fond of his devotees. He cannot but reveal himself to them. God comes to a person even before he is sought. If a person moves one step towards God, God approaches 10 steps towards that person. There is none more intimate and more affectionate than God." Balaram Basu was very much impressed. Every word of the master's penetrated his heart. His prayers became intense. He made rapid strides in spiritual life. Swami Brahmananda used to say, quote, "Pray to God with intense yearning and earnestness. Tell him frankly that you want him and him alone. Have no doubt God certainly exists. He who is weak and humble will certainly receive his grace. If you pray to God with devotion and childlike faith, he will certainly come to you. Don't be worried about the errors committed in the past and that you have not thought of God for a long time. God is merciful. He will not enumerate your faults. Approach him with the simplicity of a child He will take you on his lap, but without the faith of a child, nobody can see God. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.